Welcome to Blazerville. This is Console Restoration Guide Part 2 of 3.
I used to use cardboard for a paint booth, but I bought this little thing on Amazon. It's real cheap. It's called Spray Shelter. Collapses down, you put it away real easy. It's portable. And the other part, you want a day where it's sunny and warm, but no wind. So to conserve paint, that paint booth, that little miniature paint booth, keeps my paint usage down to a minimum because it doesn't blow away in the wind. So let's get started. So I've got these elevated up off the surface with a cardboard box. It's you don't want it touching anything, so shake well, read the directions. It's about 80 degrees right now, so this is going to dry quick. I'm doing a test down here low and then just work my way up. Long strokes, about 6 inches away. Get the corners good. Come over and get the other side of the top from this direction. Kind of just want to go in every different direction because you got all those surfaces. You got all those kind of textures already and you want to get them all covered. Not thick, real thin. This is, see how quick I'm doing this. It's very light. Put a light coat on, then turn it. And come around front. This is just textures, not the paint. So right now we're just trying to get a light texture on it. Just on the top rims, on the top edges right here. And then on the corners. Corners get banged a lot, so you want to paint and texture the corners extra. Be real gentle with it. You guys may have a better solution than this, but I've got it out here toward the edge so you can see what I'm doing, not back in there like I'd like to have it. I mean, I said one can. You might, on a rough console, you might have to use 2. These nozzles, sometimes they clog up, so just try to keep moving so it doesn't clog up on you. You want to come up and get this front edge on top. When I say edge, I mean the top edge. You want this to be consistent all the way around, so you want the same look front to back. We're not concerned about doing this cup holder inset area or inside, just the outside, the texture. Doesn't have to be perfect. There is no right way to do it. We're just doing it. And then looking for consistency, not perfection. So this side, I'm gonna come back and do a little more. Lightly dried. This takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours to dry. In the sun, it'll dry real quick. Don't leave it in the sun too long. You get too hot. There you go. That's a pretty nice finish on that side. The second time around, we're going to get the desired result. So there, I almost touched it with my hand. You put a fingerprint on it when it's wet, and that smudge is hard to get out. So once you get done with this, put it somewhere where it won't be touched. And if you notice, I didn't try to spray on the inside, just on the top. If you get some on the inside, no big deal. It'll be covered up by the lid. But these corners, you want to come back over those. How are we looking here? Yeah, that's pretty good. There we go. Go set that over to dry. Our camera overheated on me. It's getting warm out here. So this is the lid. Remember I said we're not going to texture this because this has a different texture than the whole rest of the console. The lid, it's not much different, but it's slightly different, and you don't want to put texture on this. You want to just paint this, and we're doing this with Saddle Tan. SEM 15033 Saddle Tan. SEM high quality paint. I use about 2 to 3 coats on the whole thing. It's made for vinyls, it's made for interiors, it's not cheap, it's about 16, 17 bucks a can. But it does a really nice job, nice and dry. And we don't want any heavy coats, we want something light. This got a little wear on it right here, maybe a little on the corners. Might put a little extra paint there, but not much. Okay, this one, I normally paint in the paint booth as well, but I'm gonna paint it by hand. So I'm just gonna paint it out here in the open. My wife wouldn't be happy about this because shit's going everywhere, but hey, she's not here right now. So while she's not here, I get to do what I want to do. Anyway, yeah, you just want light coats, and again, you want to hit it in all directions. And I'm just going to hold the bottom and spin it around. There's a nice little round cup on the bottom. You can hang this up and paint it, spin it around. I just like doing it like this. And then you want to come up in these grooves and just kind of hit it real good right up in there. Like if you're painting red or black and you're trying to paint over that, it's kind of hard to get in there. But real short strokes. Don't leave keep it moving. Turn it and you get the sides. See, my paint's all blowing away, so that's kind of sucks. But I'm gonna get a nice base coat on this. I might finish it in the booth. But I just put this on to keep it from getting all over my arm. Yeah, it's already looking good. The texture's gonna come out nice. You know, if you could do this outside, it's the best place to do it. In your garage is cool, but you can't see shit unless you got really good light. So I prefer doing it outdoors before it gets too hot. It's too hot already, but it's not. But what it's gonna be 95. Go over here and pick me some maters, make me a mater sandwich, have some sweet tea, and let this all get right. Yeah, I want to thank Thomas Mendoza of Canoga Park. I'm making this console for you. Saddle Tan, he's got an ochre K5 Blazer. Saw him out with his family this last weekend. Looks like he really enjoys it. This is gonna make the interior just pop. So I'm excited for him, and if you'd like to get a console done, I can do one for you. But it's not that hard. You can do it. I'm showing you the steps. Give it a try. So now we're going to finish painting the top portion of the Saddle Tan. It's going to take about 3 cans of the Saddle Tan to cover this whole thing, especially in black. You might even go past 3 cans. So light coat, turn it. I should have a mask on, but it's hard to talk with a mask on. Who wants to wear a mask anyway? Do not be a mask bully. No masks are required to watch this video. Just start, like I say, start with a light coat. This can's about empty anyway, so it's a good one to start with. Gotta find the right box that allows your console to not touch anything on the outside. That way it'll dry nice, no smudges. You put the wet console down on a cloth or cardboard, it tends to want to stick to the cardboard, so save some boxes. It's gonna be nice. Saddle Tan. So before you touch the top of this console, make sure your hand's nice and clean. Make sure there's no oil or dirt on it. And I just lay it over like this, and then just run a coat over the inside. I don't have my sleeve on, so don't have to. All this is optional. Do it your way. Now we're ready to paint the inside. So I just use this and this as a handle. I paint that last, so I just spin it around like this, and the cup holder hides this part right here. So this part does not have to look that good. No one's gonna see it. Gotta get these short little strokes, get these little side supports painted. You want to get this part right here. That shows on the outside. Back here in the paint booth, save a little paint. You want to come underneath this bottom too. This is visible right here, that part right there. That's visible from the outside. So you want to get that. Here's an inside tip. If you want to paint a console black, buy a dark console. Buy a brown one or a dark red one. That way, if some of the paint does get wear off, it doesn't look light underneath. Same thing in reverse. If you want to paint a console a real light color, buy a light colored console to start with. Pretty basic stuff. You guys, most of you already know this, but just an idea. So this is like the hardest part to paint. You gotta kind of cradle this in your arm, and again, you want to get the paint booth, tip it up. There's 4 inside sides, so I'm getting high over here. You guys smell that? Wow. I've used up all my mask at the grocery store and the post office because, you know, you can't go in anywhere without a mask. So we're just gonna hold our breath. Anyway, hopefully you see what I'm doing here. And then these little pieces on the inside, again, these supports, nice short strokes. You just kind of have to balance this thing in one hand. You could hang it. There's a hole. You could hang it. This thing's not very sturdy, but you could hang it and paint it and spin it around. I don't have a lot of big techniques or fancy secrets. But you get the idea. Always putting extra coats on the lid. It's the most visible part and the most scratched, used, touched surface. Open it up and down, open it over and over again. So just when you're waiting for other stuff to dry, just keep putting, I might put 7, 8 coats on the lid on the outside.
All right, y'all, keep on trucking to part 3.